Hey guys, hope you're doing well today, and if not, that's also absolutely fine. Sometimes we go through phases where we feel great, other times we go through phases where we feel not so great. That's okay, I'm here to listen to you, I hear your pain, and things will get better or will get worse. That's the beauty of things, ups and downs, it never stops. Right. Now, what I would like to talk to you about in this video is isolating, okay? Isolation. I am a highly sensitive person, and I sometimes need time alone. I need time for myself, I need time to think, decompress, okay? The overstimulation of the world can be very overwhelming, and then I need to take a step back. Now, I have to admit that this is also my comfort zone, okay? Being alone by myself is comfortable, yet very uncomfortable at the same time, because of feelings of loneliness, feelings of disconnectedness, feelings of disengagement. And every time I noticed in my own life, when I isolate myself for extended periods of time, okay, when I avoid going out, when I avoid engaging with people's invitations, when I avoid social contact, I start to feel a little bit weird, man. I start to feel really weird and lonely and sad and depressed and confused. It's not good, okay? We're not supposed to be alone all the time. It can be useful to set aside some time to isolate yourself, to think, to reflect, to work on yourself, to do some introspection, meditate, okay? A 10-day Vipassana retreat, that is something that I would like to do in the very near future. It's 10 days of silent meditation. But even there, you're not alone because you're surrounded by people doing the same thing. So it's actually not isolating. Isolating would mean go in the jungle all by yourself or locking yourself up in your room completely alone, okay? If you do it deliberately for a specific amount of time, purposefully, that can be very fruitful. You can learn a lot from that. But if you isolate yourself on a daily basis simply because you're afraid, because I isolate myself out of fear, okay? Initially I isolate myself because of overstimulation, but after a while I isolate myself out of fear. I start to become afraid. Oh, people might reject me, people might hurt me, I feel like I judge myself, I feel like others judge me, I feel confused, I feel unworthy, I feel so many negative things, okay? And I start to feel really weird, and it's not good, okay? And I became acutely aware of this when I was at a rainbow gathering. Before that, I was living in quite isolated. I was doing a lot of things by myself. Okay, sometimes I called a few friends or I talked to a few people, but I was not really socially engaged. I was very much alone a lot of the time. And I felt miserable. Really. And I felt miserable even more every day that passed. I felt more miserable. And then I went to the rainbow gathering and I was surrounded by so many people all the time. And initially I felt very uncomfortable with that because I was isolating for such a long time. And so all of a sudden there were so many people, so it's overstimulated and I didn't feel like I belong. But that was because I was isolating myself for so long before that. And then after I made the decision to stay and to remove these barriers, to remove my clothes, to remove my judgments, and to really allow myself to engage with the environment and the people, I completely changed. And I felt so much love, so much gratitude, so much connection. And that is something that I deeply, deeply crave, to feel connected. To feel connected with the world, with other people, with myself. And I was able to give such deep, intense hugs, hold eye contact, be in this space of ritual and respect. And that completely changed me. It completely changed the way I felt about myself, about other people, and I felt normal again. I felt normal again. And I stopped taking things so seriously. It was no longer so heavy. Of course, sometimes I was a little bit more in an introspective mood and I felt a little bit lonely. That's okay. Then I went to sit alone and meditate for a little bit. But after that, I just joined a group of people and I just sat there with them, okay? Because when you're in a group, you are never the only one there who feels alone or isolated. There's always a few people who who feel the same way, and you can see them. Okay, they're probably not talking, they're just sitting there. You can feel alone together with them in a way. That was what helped me. I went to join a group around the campfire, and some people were singing, moving, but other people were just there sitting quietly, not talking to anyone. And I knew they felt exactly the same like I did. And so I felt less alone with that feeling. Okay, so isolating yourself can be useful in certain situations, specific situations, but don't isolate yourself for too long. Really, it makes you unhappy. It made me terribly unhappy. And I made a commitment to myself to stop isolating. Okay, I try to get out of my house more often. I try to be surrounded by other people. I try to just spend some time even with strangers. Okay, even sitting in silence next to a few strangers, or taking public transport, whatever. Okay, just being surrounded by other people, not locking yourself up in your house. And I know perhaps in your country with the COVID situation, it's harder, and that's, I think, a big reason why so many people suffer nowadays, because of so much isolation. It makes you feel weird, man, and it's not good for you. So practice pushing yourself a little bit, because initially it's going to be uncomfortable, especially if you have been isolating for a long time. It will feel really uncomfortable to quit that isolation, but you have to realize it has become your comfort zone, and you need to get out of that comfort zone, because it's making you feel miserable. And that is precisely the realization that I made. And I feel so different now, because I pushed myself out of there. I stopped isolating. I try to connect way more with people, and it's really important for your well-being to not isolate too much. Okay, and make it easy for yourself. You don't have to become the most social person all of a sudden and be the leader of the group. No, you can just join a group, or join a few people, or send a few messages, and be a little bit more social. And like I said, you can be part of a group and find the people who are not too loud there, or who are a little bit more on the sidelines. There's going to be people like that, I assure you, trust me. And you can connect with them on a lower level of energy, and then build up your state. You can make a little bit of contacts, you can share some energy, you can be honest, be open, be vulnerable. You can tell someone, hey, I feel a little bit lonely, and I would like to meet some new people. I would like to make some new friends. Who are you? And then you can just talk and have a real open, vulnerable conversation, because trust me, and that is something that I learned very specifically in the Rainbow Gathering, is that by being open and vulnerable about how you feel, your fears, your shame, your pain, that is one of the most profound ways to connect with someone almost instantly. Okay, because people are not used to that. And you don't have to be overly personal or talk about super sensitive topics. That's not necessary. You don't have to overdo it, okay? But simply sharing something vulnerable about yourself, you feeling afraid, you feeling lonely, you feeling isolated, you feeling scared to talk to someone, mentioning that honestly, hey, can I be honest with you? I feel a little bit confused and scared, and I don't know what to say and don't know what to do, but I would like to talk to you. That is so disarming. That is so honest and vulnerable and straight to the point. People appreciate this so much, because nobody does it. It's scary to do that, but it's so valuable, so incredibly valuable. And you will forge connections with people so fast, and you will build relationships with people so fast, and they might become even like great friends, because it's built on this layer of openness, vulnerability, and trust. It shows that you can trust the other person, and that you can build on a foundation of shared feelings, perhaps, because so many people, they start off with the small talk. And yes, it's also important to be able to do that, to start off with small talk. But if you want to forge real deep connections, sometimes being blatantly honest is the best way to do that. So I invite you to reduce the amount of self-isolating you have been engaging in, if you have been, because it's making you feel miserable, trust me. And it will make you feel better to get out there, to talk to some people, to spend some time, even in the proximity of others. Not necessarily connecting, but just being there and opening yourself up and being honest, vulnerable. That will absolutely change your life. Alright guys, I hope that was helpful. If you liked the video, feel free to leave a thumbs up. This helps to expose the video to more people who might want to learn more about how they can change their lives if they are isolating themselves. And if you would like to see more content like this in the future, please click that subscribe button for me. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.